Hey guys, I'm Max. I run customer experience and support at ULTRAVIEW Archery, and today I'm going to be showing you how to set up your new H5 horizontal 5-pin on your Slider 2 bow sight. Let's get right into it. First thing we're going to do on the Picatinny mount, we're going to go ahead and mount it into our Picatinny adapter on our bow. Give that a nice crank down. Not too tight, but just snug to where it's not going to move. The next thing we're going to do, once we've got it mounted onto the bow, is we're going to go ahead and shoot in our 20-yard pin with our middle pin. So we've got the sight mounted on the bow. Now the next step is going to be to shoot 20 yards with the middle pin. Once you find your 20 yards with your middle pin on your horizontal 5-pin cartridge, the next step is going to be to set your metal setup tape on the outside rail with the outside green indicator. So you'll adjust your set tape. Green lines up at 20. And now you're ready to start shooting it back to 60. So we've shot at 20, we found our 20, we've got our setup tape set. The next step is going to be to walk back until we eventually get to 60 yards, and we're going to want to spend some time there to make sure that we're getting a solid 60 mark. Don't waste too much time on the in-between numbers. As long as you're on target, that's fine. Once you get out to 60, really spend some time there. So let's go ahead and shoot at 60 and fine-tune our setup tape so we can figure out which sight tape number we need. Now that we've adjusted our sight and are hitting dead on at 60 yards, it's time for us to install the actual sight tape. Over to the right side on your setup tape, your indicator should be referencing a number on that scale between 1 and 30. If we look over at mine, it looks like mine's right about a number 4. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and pop the cartridge out, take it over to our sight tape sheet, line up the pins with the number 4 sight tape, and that's going to go ahead and preset your pins in your cartridge to the sight tape selected through the setup process. To remove your cartridge, using the provided wrench included in your spare parts bag, you're going to go to the outside set screw on your scope. You don't need to take it out all the way, just back it out a little bit. You're going to just wiggle out and your cartridge will pop right out of the scope. Once we've got the cartridge out of our scope, we're going to come over into our sight tape sheet where we selected sight tape number 4 on the setup tape, shooting the middle pin at 20 and 60. So we're going to hover our cartridge over that sight tape number 4, line up the middle pin with 40 yards because that's going to be our 40-yard pin in the H5 cartridge. Adjust your top and your second pin to where they're matched up with 20 and 30, and then your fourth and your last 5th pin to where they're matched up with 50 and 60. And when you're done, your pins will already be preset for your sight tape that you selected. So once we have our pins set off of our sight tape, we're going to go ahead and pop this back into the scope. Go ahead and tighten that set screw back down. You don't need to over tighten it, just until it snugs up, and then you're good to go. Now keep in mind, we are keeping the sight at the 60-yard position during this step. Now that we've got our pins set and back into the scope, we're going to go ahead and grab our sight tape sheet, or if you have a metal sight tape, this is when you grab that. We're going to come to the inside sight tape rail, and we're going to install our sight tape to align the green indicator with the 60-yard mark on your selected sight tape. So once we have our sight tape installed onto our tape plate, we're going to adjust it to where the 60-yard line lines up with that singular green indicator. Once we have our sight rolled back up to the 40-yard line with the green indicator, we're going to go ahead and set our home stop. This way, the sight can never go past the home position. So if you're in an adrenaline-fueled moment and you need to roll your sight back up to get to your home position, you can do so without looking. Once we have our home stop set, the next and final step is to go ahead and move your green indicator down to the 60-yard line. Why do we do this? Because we're going to shoot the sight tape with the bottom pin as your floater. Once your indicator is set on the 60-yard line, your home stop is set, your sight is officially set up, and you're ready to go shoot on the range.